How do you do? How are you all? Jim Tom? I'll stand up and bang my knees pretty hard on it. I better watch myself since you warned me. I feel exactly what you did. That little valve. We'll see what they do. Oh, yeah, there they are. I thought they might have put a little mirror. Yeah.
You can sit there. Yep. You can share with the bar. If you want to stretch it back, listen, do you want also, I have one my dad.
Okay, making sure everybody's up here. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you'll please stand for the pledge, we're going to have a flag on the screen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will now call roll.
Cash,
Here.
Shack, here, Cottle,
Here.
Baldwin, Beasley, here, Littleton,
Here.
Okay, we have the minutes from the previous meeting. The first is the special called meeting on September 8th, 2025. And the next is the special called meeting September 18th, 2025.
motion to approve.
Second.
Questions or comments? Okay, we'll call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack, yes, Cottle,
Here. Yes.
Baldwin, Beasley,
Yes.
Littleton,
Yes.
All right, moving into the public comments section. First, we have Abby Grace Oney, who's going to do a presentation of artwork for Complete Streets project. And we'll put a slide up for that. And council, you have
I just want to give a little bit of background on the Complete Streets project. You probably noticed on Batson Oaks and Bridge Street that we've added some new white lines and some planters, and that is to narrow the roads to slow people down in that area and also to make it safer for pedestrians. So we had a group of people, staff members, participating with Kentucky Transportation and Complete Streets America and Smart North America to learn about some of these ways that we can calm the traffic in areas where there are a lot of pedestrians. One of the pieces is to bring out the areas that we are now marking as more pedestrian type areas, make the crosswalks shorter so that there's less distance that pedestrians have to walk, and then putting some artwork so that people will recognize that that's a place that's not necessarily for cars. Tomorrow, we're actually doing a very temporary installation with some children from Rodburn Elementary who did a project last year called Morehead, and they said, we need a city with color that pops. So I have asked them to participate. We'll do some, not this painting, but we'll do some cornstarch painting in blue and yellow that will go along with MSU's Paint the Town Blue and Gold. So we'll be doing that tomorrow evening, and you'll see that. It's temporary. It'll last a month or two, and I'm going to let Abby talk about this more long-term project.
So this would be a permanent installation, and when I was first designing this, I considered the palette, the Morehead City palette, and the natural and cultural heritage. So I have waterways and the colors of the mountains and the sunsets and everything with the greens and the blues that's in the Morehead palette. We have the Kingfisher, which connects the waters and the mountains. And with the greenery is sassafras, which is a very Appalachian native tree. And then if you can see, there's the Sheltoe Trace turtles, and the Sheltoe Trace runs straight through downtown Morehead, and Morehead is a designated trail town, so that honors that. And the Muskie down here on the street that leads to the traditional music center, they actually have dulcimers designed within them, so it honors the waterways with Cave Run being so close, and the traditional music center as well. So that is where the design came from.
Council, what do you all think?
It's nice.
It's pretty impressive, right? I mean, the way that she worked so many local pieces, and we're excited to do this. I'll let Ed add some comments too. Did you have some more?
I was just going to say, this is something I mentioned that we did this on. We're doing this. No, it's fine. We are focused on Bridge and Main at this point because that was the grant that we received to make changes at that intersection and that road. We hope to do more of this kind of thing down Main Street, as well as we hope to, we're trying to do some sign audits so that we have fewer signs and they are fewer no parking, that kind of sign, and then we're going to have more wayfinding signs and some other kinds of things along, try to improve the lighting along Main Street. So this is just the first step towards some other fun things that we want to do in that area. So, and we're happy to have Abby Grace on
Yes,
board.
I'm grateful to be a part of the project.
Yeah, she's been great to work with.
When Very does nice. this happen?
Well, with the weather we've been having, we may be able to get started on it this fall.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We could, for sure.
Yeah. So we're hoping that it'll be done before we.
From the products that I've been researching, the weather's been fine for it. It's not like it's been raining.
Yes.
What about like snow removal and stuff for that?
Snow removal.
It's just
Well,
plows.
there is definitely some products that I've been looking that is a top coat, that's like a sandy top coat that helps with, first off, like durability, but it also helps with like having it not being a slippery surface, so that should help. But I could dig more into that being an issue in that area.
I was sure about plows.
Yeah.
The
Right, for
walls
sure.
full.
Definitely, but there's definitely ways to make it more durable, and we can look into that.
Great, good question, thanks.
Thanks, good work.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have another group here, for Sustainable Future. You all want to come up? Or someone, all of you, some of you, it doesn't matter. You'll just say your name at the podium also, so we can take that for the minutes. Thank you.
Cool. Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm with MSU Evergreen. Wayne and I are here on behalf of our Green Spaces Committee. And
Hi, my name is Wayne Newsom. I'm a freshman at Morehead State University.
So at the last city council meeting, we had a chance to drop our proposal for a food forest off to all the council members. And today we've kind of given you all a shorter version of that. That way you can read along as we make our public comment. And also feel free to let me know if I'm talking for too long, because I'll lose track of time. But last time we gave you guys a proposal for a food forest, which is an edible planting of plants that mimics patterns found in nature. It makes it more sustainable, less upkeep, and ultimately gives us like fresh fruits and veggies that everybody can use. It's a grant that we have with Rotary. We're partnering with them to do that. And we are hoping to get a 0.25 acre lot from the city. So that's kind of what we're asking of y'all, and we'd love to like get it off the ground. That way we could start planting by the end of the month before the end of like the prime time to get trees in the ground. So yeah, I guess that's our ask for y'all.
I recently joined this project, and at first I was unclear on the subject, but now that I've had more opportune time to properly read it myself, I would just like to say, as someone not from Rowan County, but from Ford County, other universities such as the University of Pikeville have implemented things like this, and not only has it added more to their horticultural and ecological education, but it's also added to the overall, as the mayor of Pikeville said, atmosphere to the town as well. And there's a lot of bonuses that come from this, not just from educational, but from environmental as well.
So I think, a location in mind around the city park, is that what you were looking at?
Yes. So we were looking at the area. If you guys are familiar with where the dog park is at Don Greenhill Park, like that area behind the dog park, that would kind of be like a decent location for us. So that's kind of what we're asking for. Yeah. Just wanted to see what y'all thought, and we would love to hear from y'all about this.
I would like to congratulate you on doing a good job of setting up the need. I think your proposal that you gave us last time explains that very well. My concern, the residual concern that I have is in looking at a couple of places where gardening can and has taken place, however faded, and however ill-kept and ignored. And so that's the root of my question. In your proposal, I don't get a true sense of the time involved. Obviously, if you plant small trees, if they're fruit bearing, you're going to have 3 to 5 years before they're actually going to bear fruit. If you're going to plant fruits and vegetables, that there's a great deal of on-the-ground maintenance that goes with that, certainly weekly, if not daily. And then as the crops come in, they obviously have to be harvested regularly. And I raise this not to throw a damn cloth over it, but to say that projects like Sustainable Morehead, which have, great ideas and kind of work for a while, even our beautiful Fountain Park, which was begun by some civic-minded women and maintained by many of them until, like me, they reached a certain age, which makes getting on their knees difficult. Not on their knees, off their knees, I guess would be more accurate. Getting up and getting down. So there are a number of concerns that I have, and I hope that as you develop this further, those are issues that you'll have to consider. I was on the faculty at MSU for a long time, and students are there typically for 4 years. And if you have one who's there for 4 years and eagerly working for 4 years, that's good. But typically, you might get a year out of that. So there's lots of labor issues that I think I would urge you to try to consider long term. I also talked to some colleagues in the ag department about this project, and maybe some of them, most of them are retired, but if there's some still up there, you might want to talk with them about those issues. Because what we don't need, and this is where I'm going to sound really down, what we don't need is another project that starts and then collapses for lack of personal involvement and the kind of day-to-day labor that it takes to maintain a spot like that. It's an excellent idea. And if you get a lot of community support and university support, it could move forward, and I would urge you to try to do that.
First, I'll say thank you, Yvonne. I think, I completely agree with you, and this is something that we've definitely thought about. And that's honestly why I'm super excited about this project, is because we've focused really hard on making it intergenerational. So we have Rotary, who is, mainly retired people that just want to still be involved, and then we have campus people, and then we have other people in the community that are also super interested in this. So yeah, I think in the effort of making it intergenerational, that's kind of to curb that drop in participation. I also think, this has been a conversation among a lot of people in the city, wanting to get people that go to the university to stay in Morehead, and I think initiatives like this are going to make students want to stay. The reason why I want to stay in Morehead when I graduate is because I've found people that do projects like this, and I would love to stay in Morehead and keep doing it. I think also, we've been super intentional about trying to get different university groups on our side as well. So Tau Kappa Epsilon, that's actually, I think it was the first fraternity at MSU. They have a commitment to make this an annual, required volunteer thing for that fraternity. Phi Sigma Pi has also agreed to make it an annual volunteer thing for that fraternity. So I think and that came from countless people saying, hey, we've had this fall apart before, much like you said, for us to be okay, how are we going to get this to work in the future? So hopefully, that doesn't happen. Thank you. Is there anything else for Wayne?
I think our next step would be to set up a meeting with our parks director and look at that space specifically, and then depending on how we want to do that space, it needs to come back to council for a vote and further discussion. We can do that, but I think maybe that's a good next step. That works for you all.
If I may so add on the fraternal aspect of that, I'm an active member of Tau Kappa Epsilon, and about 2 generations of classes before me is when they started this alongside Evergreen for the most part. And yes, I can confirm them, as long as 2 others, including Kappa Sig and Phi Sigma, have made it somewhat mandatory, necessary to put interest in this subject and put effort into it, because it's good for the community as well as good for much of everyone around.
And good for your philanthropy. Yeah, I think that, I'm not sure, I didn't catch who said that next step, but I would agree, and I appreciate you all for your time.
Thank you. Are there other public comments at this time?
Yes.
Who would come to the podium, please?
For those who don't know me, I'm Chuck Mraz. I'd like to start by thanking Councilwoman Edna Shack for her personal attention, apparently, that she's given my property tax history. I guess there is the belief that the small addition that we put on the back of my home accounts for the $102 property tax bill increase that we'll see after Council, as expected, approves the anticipated 363 tax on real property, which will come in the wake of the 45% increase on my home's valuation. Just to let everyone know, we did put that addition on in 2019. We were in contact immediately afterwards with the PVA's office, and we received a new valuation at that time, and we've been paying increased taxes since then on that and the rest of my home. So, I mean, this is something that could have been cleared up if you just asked me about it.
Sorry, Chuck. I'm not sure
I appreciate that. My issues with the proposed new property tax rate also really aren't just about me. It's about the scheduled increases to the properties of my friends, my neighbors, people in our town, especially our low-income folks who rent, and they're going to see their rents rise. Rents, as you know, have risen quite a bit over the last several years, a lot of it because of the property tax increase. This might be a new concept for some, but I'm not looking out just for me, I'm looking out for others. That's what I was taught to do. That's how I was brought up. And you seem to forget that our property taxes have gone up 45% in the previous 5 years alone, which have greatly impacted this year's rate considerations, especially when you add in the new valuations. And the bottom line is this: I know you're going to approve this new rate, and even though you could pass a lower rate suggested by Councilman Littleton and Cash, your budget, which you called a good one, projects the need for $1.6 million in property tax revenue to meet the city's required spending. Their proposal would produce nearly $100,000 over that figure. You really don't need the $400,000 plus that the 363 rate would bring in. You've already secured the top bond rating from Moody's, which is based on the city's overall financial health, which is very good. And the city already has the money to meet its as of yet undetermined bond payments, which don't really start until 26, 27. For me, I really haven't seen a good argument made for employing the 363 rate, especially with the city's other revenues growing exponentially here in recent years. Much of that $400,000 I mentioned could go back into the local economy or for the other personal needs of our citizens. I think the bottom line is, it's something I wish you'd reviewed further. I just don't think it's necessary, and I appreciate the time to express that.
Thank you. Other public comments?
First of all, I thank the mayor and the council for being able to speak about this. Chuck is a numbers guy. Obviously, mine is listening to what people come up to me on the street and Walmart and different places and say, hey, what can we do about this? And, it's been well documented. I think the council's done a really good job of getting it out there, all the numbers. Daryl and Councilman Cash, they've got their counter proposal out there. But the bottom line is, I can't remember a time where we, the city council, had a unique position to lower it just a little bit to help people who are struggling heading into what's going to be the holiday season next month, and of course Christmas. There's been some talk last time about, we can't control what the PVA does. Of course the city can't control that. And then someone else mentioned later, we can't control what the school board does. Obviously not. The only thing the city council can do, and I've said in the mayor's seat, I've said in the city council seat, is do what the city council can control. Well, they have a unique position right now, and that is they can control what they do this way. It may be the only time we could ever do this, but it's a unique opportunity to help people who have absolutely been beleaguered by taxes from all sides. And it would allow, we talk about livability. Livability starts with people having spendable cash, living in a place to go back out and reinvest it. If they don't have that and they're struggling, and we're talking about the majority of our rental property in the city is people who are either retired, who wanted to downsize, or they're folks who can't afford to build or can't afford to buy. And what that does then, it puts them in a crunch. And anytime it's added, even though it's a little bit, maybe $40 here, maybe $100 there, it's still a continued steamroll downhill of taxes from all sides. And we don't want to be known as, you know, a high tax or a continuous tax city. I don't think so. The budget's doing well. You've got carryover. Take advantage of this one time and give the citizens a break. And I'm telling you, they will reinvest in it, and it will grow exponentially from this. So I'm not going to challenge anybody. I'm just going to put it to you to please reconsider one last time. And, you know, I will respect any decision you make because you're elected to make that decision. But I really think this is a unique opportunity that we may never see again. And it would be great to do that. So I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Okay, we have two more. You'll come up to the podium and say your name, whichever order you want.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to speak briefly. There was issues out on my street. I live at 313 Briarwood Lane and Jewel Lane regarding a dead tree that had been out there for a long time. And I did request a meeting with the city, and it went very well. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you that was involved in, that I talked with, because you've done a good deed. That tree was very dangerous and opened up a lawsuit for the city and the property owner. And again, that tree was 18 inches from the road. So I strongly felt it was the city's liability, and I want to thank each and every one of you that was involved in seeing that was done. I did personally call each other after it was removed to thank you. Except Evan, I didn't get hold of him, but I did leave a message. You know, I just want you to follow through with the next process that was supposed to be done out there once the chainsaws were sharpened. I was told the stump would be cut down against the ground. So I hope that is carried through with. But it's time that the taxpayers here in Morehead get some results out of the money we're paying. And there needs to be some accountability as far as both ways, not just one way. I mean, I hope to see some change, I do. And things are improved for the city and every taxpayer that's in the city. But I've been out there since '95. I love it. Come from way out in the country. And I kind of thought, well, am I going to like this or am I not? But I love it. I have great neighbors, it's a great neighborhood. Couldn't ask for no better people. I mean, we all help one another. And, you know, that's not everywhere you go. So I feel very blessed to be in a neighborhood that is so welcoming, very helping. It's not one or two, it's all. And it's very, very blessed and thankful in my behalf. So again, thank you for letting me speak.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Jones, and I am a property owner and a resident, a long-time resident in the city of Morehead. In fact, my family has lived here since 1964 in various places. I would like to follow up with some of what Ms. Moraz and Mr. Trent had said. Last month, I really had wanted to speak at the meeting, but it seems as though the conversations were cut short and I didn't have a chance to express my opinion. So I think that probably this is a moot point at this time, but I'd still like you to know what I have to say. I have thought about this a lot. I've studied it a lot. I've talked to a lot of my friends and neighbors, and I live in an older neighborhood in Morehead, and all of my immediate neighbors are retired and on fixed incomes, including myself and my husband, and my brother and my son, who all live in my household. Many of these people were here with me last week, or last month, but this month they haven't been able to make it because of illness, taking care of grandchildren, so forth. But I think they kind of trust me to give some of our opinions. So when I'm thinking about the 2025 projected income from the real property taxes and the personal and tangible property taxes, what I found was that in the 2025 city budget, which the city council passed in April, I believe it was, I know it was in the spring, the budget included amount under both real and personal property taxes of $1.6 million. However, and I've kept up with this, when I'm not here, I'm watching you on the internet. So I know what you're saying and what's been put out there. So recently, I'm a Facebooky person, and one of my friends is Morehead City Government. And so I had a post from Morehead City Government from September 22nd in which they were giving us all the details on all of this taxes. The thing that stood out to me was the fact that in April we said we were anticipating $1.6 million to be budgeted from these property taxes. And in this post on September 22nd,
It's been 3 minutes.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take my 3 minutes from last month too, that I didn't get. All right, so they said that $2,041,293 was given as the anticipated revenue to the city this year from property taxes based on this proposed ordinance, which would give you 0.36 of each 100 assessed value on real property and 0.6947 per 100 value on personal property. So when I did the math, and believe me, I'm no math major, just ask my husband when he looks at the checkbooks that I balanced. But when I did the math, to me, that shows me a $441,393 discrepancy between the two, between what they're saying is going to be collected and what was budgeted. So, I'm really not sure why the council would vote tonight to approve these rates in the proposed second reading of this ordinance when the numbers show that these rates will provide a significant amount of money more than they have already budgeted. I believe it's pertinent to live within the budget need that was passed in the spring. I have to live within my budget. City should too. Therefore, I'm asking council members to revisit their thinking on the second reading of this ordinance, vote no on it, and go back to the drawing board to pass a more acceptable and realistic tax rate that will not unnecessarily gouge the city taxpayers. I believe an equitable rate would be the 2.85 per 100 value as proposed by Councilman Littleton and Councilman Cash. And that's pretty much all I got to say. I know you're not going to listen to me do anything, but I got my say in.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comments at this time? Okay, we're going to go on down the agenda. The next is my report listed on the agenda. You have updates from each of your departments. It's been a busy month for all of them, and so that is included. If you have questions, you can let them know. I have quite a report this month, so a few special announcements. First, we put flyers at the end of this table for the public or for council, whoever wants them. But this is bringing back the fair for the Morehead Harvest Festival. It is being put on by a number of organizations, but led by Jeff Fannin from Good Shepherd. And so the Harvest Festival will take place October 24th through the 26th at the Morehead City Park. All of the information is located on this flyer, and then there's Facebook pages, information in the newspaper, radio, signs, or you can call Jeff or one of us if you have questions. We have Run Morehead coming up which is that same weekend actually. There's additional flyers down here. Tomorrow is the last day to register if you want a t-shirt. So we had over 100 runners last year, I think around 150. I think Jenny's goal this year was to get to 200, and we're almost there. So we would love to have you participate in that annual event. All of the proceeds go to Shop with a Cop to help the Optimist Club and organizations that put that event on annually. A reminder that this week is MSU's homecoming, and so there'll be different events, a little more traffic than we may be used to in town, so keep that in mind. On Thursday will be the parade, and so we will be asking cars to move off of Main Street by 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. they'll close it down and try to find owners of cars that are still on there, and the parade will take place at 6 p.m. And that's again led by Morehead State University. So if you want to sign up or be involved, you got to contact them. They're the ones in charge of it. Tomorrow evening, we're going to close the Bridge Street intersection up by Bat's Notes around 3:30. It'll probably be closed until around dark, but that's going to be for painting by students that are going to be doing the first round of painting on our street. So keep that in mind if you're traveling that area and make plans. And then another reminder that Halloween and trick-or-treat is October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. and St. Buddha Drugs will be at the Morehead City Park this year. That's fun stuff, but I got more fun stuff. Will you send Zach in here? Stand up for this part. So we have quite a few special recognitions. This might be the most fun one. Sorry to everyone else get recognized. But we wanted to introduce you all to Zeus, who is our newest canine officer, and Officer Klein is his handler, as we'll call him. But Zeus is, when we got him, he was an 18-month-old dual-purpose police dog trained in both patrol and narcotics detection. He and his trainer both completed 6 weeks of intensive training at the renowned Vonder Hoskill, okay, I want to say it wrong, Police Canine Training Academy. They lived up there for 6 weeks together. They have formed a very strong bond and are now certified and ready to serve the Morehead community. Zeus is originally from Europe. He flew over here to be with us. He brings energy, intelligence, and dedication to his role. He's a lot of fun when he comes into the police department or any city building. I have yet to see him without his toy, so I think it's just as much attached to him as Zach is. But he will be living his life and his employment with the city with Zach and his family. They're children, so they've inherited all of the fun of the dog and all the dog hair that comes with him. So that's who you will see him with. We're thrilled to welcome him to the city of Morehead and the Morehead Police Department family. We look forward for you all getting to spend time with them at upcoming events, but we just wanted to take time to officially introduce them now that they're back from training. And when you see him out, I think say hi to him. I don't know how he is with people, but we'll see. I know he doesn't love other dogs, right? Okay. Any questions? He's beautiful and he's a lot of fun, so we're excited to have him and have him on the street with us. All right. My next announcement is kind of fun and different too. The Kentucky League of Cities annual convention was last month in Owensboro, and so there's always a lot of great information. I think almost every city in the state of Kentucky was represented this year, so it was an incredible convention. And they had a very special announcement on the last day. It was kind of the hidden secret. This is obviously just kind of a mock-up license plate. But starting in next year, they're hoping in January 2026, there will be a new license plate that people can get that will be presented, and it's called Cities Drive Kentucky. So we have a few ones to advertise for them, but the reasoning and the proceeds behind this is really an extraordinary cause. We know that in the last few years, Western Kentucky has been hit by a horrific weather. Eastern Kentucky has been hit by horrific weather that resulted in flooding. And there was no source of funding specifically dedicated to when cities encounter emergencies. So moving forward, every license plate that is a city license plate that gets sold, a proceed of that will go into a fund specifically for cities who are hit by natural disasters. So it will be the first fund specifically for that. I think it's an incredible cause. You'll see a big marketing campaign from all cities encouraging people to look for those license plates as they come out. But a very exciting thing. Cities have never had license plates before, so it's a big deal. It took a lot of work in Frankfurt for them to get there, but very excited for that. Okay, my next announcement is also while at KLC, their annual convention, they recognize city employees and elected officials who achieve different levels of training certifications throughout that year. And we had 3 people from the city of Morehead who were recognized. We had Chief Derek Blevins, Councilmember Edna Shack, and Councilmember Daryl Littleton. They were all recognized by KLC for their dedication and professional development through the City Officials Training Center, which is a voluntary continuing education program that's administered for cities in the Commonwealth. Councilmember Edna Shack achieved her level 3 Masters of City Governance, and Chief Derek Blevins and Councilmember Daryl Littleton both achieved level 1 Achievement in City Government. All of these are very important milestones, not only in their journey as employees, but in their service and education to the city of Morehead. So we commend all of them. They were recognized with plaques at the annual Breakfast Awards Convention. It was a very, very exciting day. But there's more. I feel like I should be on a TV commercial for that. The most exciting, and I have not yet got to do this in person, aside from a few comments, but Jeff, will you come up here? Sorry. Can I keep going here? Fire Chief Jeff Anderson was named the 2025 Kentucky League of Cities City Employee of the Year. And that is an award that cities and the public can nominate employees in each and every city for, and then KLC hires a board, a private board of non-KLC employees and non-city officials to come in and rank those applications. And this year that was awarded to Chief Jeff Anderson, well-deserved award. Jeff, I want to read a little bit about you. Okay. Chief Anderson is a 40-year veteran of the fire service and has served as Morehead's fire chief since 2009. His career spans decades of distinguished service in the city of Wilmore, Jessamine County, and Nicholasville. He's a respected member of the Kentucky Association of Fire Chiefs, and he's currently the 9th District Vice President. Chief Anderson has consistently demonstrated visionary leadership and a deep commitment to community safety. In 2022, he spearheaded a transformative initiative to address the growing challenges faced by volunteer fire departments. His proposal included a transition of Morehead's fire department from an all-volunteer model to a combination department with part-time and full-time firefighters that was unanimously approved by the City Council. Under his guidance, the department now operates 24/7 with dramatically improved emergency response times, now under 90 seconds. Chief Anderson also led efforts to design the new fire station that we broke ground on last week to meet the evolving needs of a full-time force, ensuring the facility will serve the Morehead community for the next 50 years. As part of the KLC award, Chief Anderson was able to pick an organization, a charity that he would like to have contributed to, and KLC makes a $1,000 donation in his honor to that organization, and he chose the Ronald McDonald House for all of the good work that they do to support veterans. Oh, he changed it, okay. There you go.
So there's a group in Kentucky and Indiana called Supporting Heroes for fire and police families that have lost a patrolman or a firefighter, and to help their families. So we chose Supporting Heroes.
Well deserved. So I want to give a round of applause to Chief Anderson. And just a fun fact, based on what Kelsey was able to tell me, we're the only city to have 2 city employees named as KLC Employee of the Year, and we've had them in the last 4 years, both of our chiefs. So a great team over here. So thank you, Chief Anderson. Okay, we will move on to our quarterly reports, and we have the Chamber of Commerce with Jason Sloan.
everybody hear me okay? All right, so I'm not going to go through every single piece in my report. I have a copy of that, but I do want to be able to highlight a few things that we're working on. We'll start with Chamber, just a quick membership piece. We continue our march to 300 members. We're currently at 292. We've added 14 new members currently during this quarter. That's really on pace to what we've done the last couple of years. Last year, this same period, we did 20. So it's good to continue to see those trends. One of the things that we've been spearheading a lot more attention to over the last few years is trying to be more involved directly with our educators to really help them get geared more to understanding what's happening in industry. So that way, especially in the CTE side. So today we were able to host CTE with Round County Senior High School to be able to do a tour with the teachers to various industries without students, so that way teachers can see firsthand of what the different industries and the opportunities, the skills that are being employed daily, so that way they can kind of shape those curriculum, shape their instruction, and be able to really bring that information back to the classroom. I've always said that if the teacher doesn't understand what the industries do, it's really hard to teach the students and generate that spark. Several other things going on. I've got a calendar of events there. We have a new business, Genesis Respiratory. We're doing a ribbon cutting on the October 20th. And we also have our One Better Media Day coming up over at the movie theater on October 20th. This is a meet and greet opportunity with a group to be able to really kind of understand some marketing opportunities. If you are interested in your business being marketed at the beginning of each of the movies that you see before they begin. So we partner with this group to be able to let them bring that information to the businesses here in Morehead. If that's something you're interested in, it'll be October 20th at 11 o'clock a.m. We'd love to be able to see you come out and join. Jumping over into the community development, we just wrapped up, the council, I did share this with you in an email, so hopefully you got a copy of that. We just did wrap up our hotel and lodging study, feasibility. You have a copy of that. We focus primarily into the three category drivers: the interstate, the lake area, downtown Morehead, to be able to really be able to analyze what the capacity of the market is, what the pro forma data is telling us as far as what it's going to take to operate these facilities. So the next steps on that is being able to take this and really go back to a lot of the developers that we've been talking to over the last couple of years, and being able to share this data with them, have real-time conversation around not only just what our market's telling us, but what's realistic to it. The other piece to that is, really kind of shaping an incentives package there to really kind of be able to entice these businesses to not only locate here, but to invest here. Another big project that we're working on, very much still underway. Last quarter I reported that, we were starting the process of looking into a YMCA. Now, when I say we're looking into it, does not mean we are getting it. It means that we are looking at the feasibility of it, and that's what this particular process is. We started that process roughly about 60 days ago, give or take, and one of the things that we wanted to be able to address, actually three things we're looking to try to address with this, is child care. We feel that child care in Morehead needs to have more access and more opportunities, so we're looking at a YMCA built on a platform that includes child care and early childhood development. That will help a lot of our workforce issues to be able to really ensure single moms and dads, or just working moms and dads, have options that can provide a safe place for their children during the day while both parents work, or one parent. Recreation and wellness. We're looking at recreation and wellness to include a kind of a two-pronged process. One, it's no secret we're extremely short on indoor recreation, and we're looking at the ability of what it's going to take to be able to really grow indoor recreation from a new brick and mortar type facility. In your report that you have, you actually see some numbers there. Part of this process will include being able to work directly with the community, and that's this phase of it. The third phase of it is looking at the aquatic side of the recreation. What can we physically do on the aquatic side? We've heard a lot of people from the community talk about pools and those type of things, and so we're exploring those things in partnership with the city, the county, to be able to kind of better understand not only what that looks like, but what's it going to cost, and how do we sustain those things. To kind of give you an idea, we're looking at just quickly, just some ideas on the size and the cost. Childcare, we're looking at 12,000 square foot facility, basically a $3 million build. And these are not fixed numbers, they're not engineered numbers, they're estimates. Indoor aquatics, we're looking at a $9 million, indoor-outdoor aquatic complex is like a $9 million build. Centralized indoor sports fitness complex, $7.5 million build. So when you put them all together, it's roughly about $20 million. And part of this process looks at the philanthropy side of things from the community. Part of that process is going to include really up to what can the community help us support and sustain there through philanthropy. So we're looking and hoping to be able to shoot somewhere between 30 and 50% of that cost over time to be able to try to attract and do something along this line. Eastern Light Distilling, everybody's been asking me recently about a lot of information there. All the first phase of their site work is now complete. They're wrapping up their state permitting, and they should start the next phase, which is underground utilities and pulling those to the site, which should happen anytime. I spoke with the representatives of the distillery a couple of weeks ago, and they anticipate sometime this month they should be starting that process. I'm going to dive back to a chamber update real quick, because this is one that I get a lot of questions on. Our leadership Morehead, for the past 2 to 3 years, as you've noticed, we've added a lot of different projects into the community. We've done 2 partnerships with the city of Morehead, bringing you a new pickleball court / tennis court, and also a new beach volleyball court. We currently, in the class of 23-24, did our largest project to date, and we partnered directly with Round County Fiscal Court, and that was with the Safe Haven Baby Box. So for those of you that do not know what that is, it's basically a safe place for a mother who is in crisis, not sure what to do with a newborn child, being able to safely surrender that with no questions asked. We're in the final leg of installation of that. It's currently being connected to 24/7 monitoring to be able to communicate directly with all of our emergency personnel and 911. And once that is complete, then we will be ready to celebrate that as another opportunity for Morehead and Round County. So with that, I'll turn it back to the council. So if there's any questions you would like to ask me directly that I can elaborate on from my report, I'll be more than happy to share some insights. All right. Okay.
I don't have a question, I just wanted to add something to the aquatic center, because that is a big dollar amount. And we're not looking for just a recreation space. The aquatic center, indoor aquatic center, could serve our public schools who have a swim team, and they are paying quite a bit of money towards State University. We can partner with them for this space. Also could serve as a safety in 2 ways. One is a place for our community members to learn to swim. We have a beautiful lake, and yet we don't have a place for them to learn to swim. So that would be another area that we could that could be addressed by that aquatic center, as well as safety training. We have a swiftwater rescue team, and they could do some of their training at that location as well. So it is more than just a recreation. We're looking for safety features that would be good for our community.
Carl Perkins here. What happened yet? Carl Perkins, are they still using him for like basketball courts or something, or is that?
Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, yes. It's in phases right now. We're waiting for installation on the doors, but everything else is done. So hopefully, come Monday, we'll be having courses.
It's beautiful.
To answer your question about the Burton Center, yes, we have been remodeling it for a little while now. Most of the construction is done. It's got new drywall, all the infrastructure is done. Paint is complete. Most of the logistics of what we're gonna do inside is complete. We are waiting for the installation of the actual part of the surface now, so that should take place next Monday. That's approximately 5 days, and once that's complete, we should begin putting those. We're hoping to be on pace to start our basketball practices in that facility, so we should be doing so.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Just pass it down, next we have Rodney, so.
Seemed like a big month for food trucks. We probably have 3 or 4 new food trucks and continuing food trucks this month on new permits. The Express Oil located on the north end of town is open and working on cars. Frontier Housing, given the temporary CO for one of the buildings, the first building. It is a 3-bedroom apartment unit. Let's see, Planning Commission approved a new building on West Main Street, kind of right in front of BP, right beside Walgreens. Jason mentioned we got the new Genesis Respiratory Building. They're operating now. Give a final CO for a new house on Green Street that will be on the market. Got a couple more houses in the city that are nearing completion. I applied for over $350,000 worth of grants that we hopefully get some or all of through the LARP program with the state, which stands for Local Assistance Road Programs. The other really good thing is the bike ped trail on the east end of Morehead is now finished. I think that turned out really nice. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it. That's about all I got, except for, also, I forgot to mention that the code board has made a lot of inroads. I honestly think of it as we've made more progress in the last 3 months than we've made in the last 30 years on working on some dilapidated structures. We started out with about 12 houses on our list. I think we dropped it down to 10 or 11. And I'm gonna let Trick talk just a little bit about it because he's done most of the work on it.
So yes, we had 11 on the list that we gave you 3 months ago, I guess. 5 of those they voted this past month, or last week actually, to remove from the list, so we're down to 6. Those 6, they gave 5 until the end of November.
I can't hear you. Could you talk really loud?
Sorry. Wow, I jumped a lot. So we had 11 houses to start with that were identified as blighted, that were falling down structures that needed work. 5 of them were voted last week to be taken off the list. 3 of those were torn down. 2 of them have been remodeled. There's 6 left. 5 of those have been given until the end of November to come up to compliance, and then 1 till the end of December. So we're halfway through the first batch, and we're starting to identify some more for next year. So hopefully that goes well too. So, any questions?
These are all
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, under the general business agenda, unfinished business, the first item is the second reading of an ordinance setting the 2025 real and personal property tax rates for the city of Morehead, Kentucky, and amending Title IX, General Regulations, Chapter 94, ad valorem tax, Sections 94.03, rates, and 94.05, payment of taxes in the city of Morehead Code of Ordinances. Reminder, you do have to say the rate when you make the motion.
Motion to accept the rate for the real property, 36.3 cents per $100, and 69.47 cents per $100 for personal property.
a second?
Second. Second, and I want to clarify that it's 0.363 per hundred and 0.69%.
I don't think your mic's on, Edna.
Push it up.
Beth keeps turning it off on me. She's afraid I'm gonna say something. Did you hear what I said about the 0.363 per hundred and 0.6947 per hundred? It gets confusing where that point goes. That's,
Questions or discussion from council?
I would like to once again urge council to reconsider the rate that I proposed of 2.85, but I think we've talked about that long enough, so. I just would like to encourage you to reconsider. I don't know how everybody's going to vote tonight, but I'm going to vote what the one is proposed.
I guess I would ask a point of order, and that is, when we have a situation like this where a month or two ago, I guess 2 months ago, the city council was in unanimous agreement about what needed to be funded. And then we did the math on the numbers. And given the fact that this is the second public meeting when we've had a number of citizens come and express their consideration, I would like the point of order clarified as to what the council does when this happens. If we decided or we wanted to postpone, what happens? How do we address such a situation?
Can you hear me? Okay. So we're at a special meeting right now, which means we cannot discuss or anything that's not in your all's agenda in your packet. So in terms of postponing the vote, we would just vote on the rate that's presented with the numbers that Councilmember Cobble and Shack stated. Any other rate would have to go to a different meeting because it's not on our special meeting. You can also make a motion to postpone the vote on this specific rate if you would like to, but the way the ordinance reads is that taxes paid prior to December 1st get a discount. Now, since our city sends our tax bills, we don't have a deadline to pass a tax rate. But if you do not pass it before that December 1st date, you're going to knock your citizens out of a discount per your ordinance. Also, if you don't pass any rate, then you're just going to stay with the same rate that we're at right now, which is higher than what's proposed by either in the discussion. So that's kind of what we're looking at for the immediate. So I guess it would have to go on the next meeting if we were to postpone it.
I'm sorry, just to clarify that point of order, if in fact this does not pass or we vote to postpone, would someone need to make a motion to hold another special meeting later this week? How is that process?
The mayor can call a special meeting, or 2/3 of council can call a special meeting. So,
To make sure we get it done.
right.
Wanted to point of clarification too that this is an increase in last year's rate. I understand assessments did occur, and many people saw increase in their assessed values, but this rate is approximately 19 or 20% lower than the rate that we voted on last year.
Other questions or comments?
It's hard for me to see it, but yeah.
Okay, well, hearing none, we will call roll.
Cash.
No.
Shack.
yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Beasley.
Yes.
Littleton.
No.
Thank you. The second reading of an ordinance setting the 2026 motor vehicle and watercraft tax rate for the city of Morehead, Kentucky, and amending Title 9 General Regulations, Chapter 94, firecraft tax rate assessment of the City of Morehead Code of Ordinances. You have to say the rate, just a reminder.
Okay, I move that we, elect to take 22 cents per $100 for the watercraft motor vehicle rate.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? Okay, please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack. Yes. Cottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Beasley,
Yes.
Littleton,
Yes.
Thank you. Item 3 is the second reading of an ordinance amending the City of Morehead, Kentucky Code of Ordinances, Title 3, Administration, Chapter 39, City Policies 39.01, Facilities Rental Fee by updating the rental fees on the city's facilities.
Motion.
Questions or comments?
Just for clarification, second reading, the only, I'm sorry, no. Okay. The only fee that changed was the, rental on the park place, Ladies Place, and it went from $75 to $100. And then there was one fee added for moving the mobile stage, and that is a $300 fee, whether it's public, private, any event that you're gonna move the mobile stage from, that Batson Oaks area or the entertainment district, then there's a fee for that, and it can't be moved out of city limits. That's what you're voting on.
Any other questions? Please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack. Yes. Cottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Beasley,
Yes.
Littleton,
Yes.
Item 4 is the second reading of an ordinance of the City of Morehead, Kentucky, amending Title 7, Traffic Code, Chapter 73, Traffic Schedules, Schedule 6, Parking Prohibited at All Times of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Morehead, Kentucky, by adding to the side of Graham Avenue adjacent to Fountain Park.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Just the reason why.
Okay. So when there are events such as protests or peaceful protests, encounters, whatever it may be, there's not enough room for emergency services to get down the road because it currently allows for parking on both sides. Okay, please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack.
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Beasley,
Yes.
Littleton,
Yes.
Item 5 is the second reading of an ordinance establishing policies and fees for special events held in the City of Morehead, Kentucky, by adding 39.05 special events to the Code of Ordinances, Title 3, Administration, Chapter 39, City Policies.
Motion.
Second. Okay, so this is, if you want to, no. It's a little bit longer. It's added a new section to your all's Code of Ordinances. On special events, it's defining special events, which does not include any city-sanctioned event. Very important, very redundant that it's in there twice. You'll need to get a special event permit, which can be approved by the city planner or the police chief. And there's a time frame within the ordinance that you need to seek this special event permit. But there's a waiver provision in there now, which we had changed a couple of things from the first reading. The non-refundable fee for the $50 application fee. But it will be credited, if your event is approved, it will be credited to the cost of your event. provision, subsection D has the fee schedule, in there, for cleanup, organized races, depending on the size, whether it's more than 150 or less, whether you need public works, police, or fire. So that the fee schedule's in there. Fees have to be prepaid, and then you also do have to comply with all other ordinances and regulations. So signs, noise control, fireworks, alcohol, insurance, things like that. I think I've hit the big one. There's an appeal process if your permit is denied. You can appeal to the mayor if you disagree with that decision.
Other questions or discussion? Okay, please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack,
Yes.
Bottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Newsly,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Item 6 is the second reading of the City of Morehead, Kentucky, amending Title 7 Traffic Code, Chapter 73, Traffic Schedules. Schedule 12 crosswalks of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Morehead, Kentucky by adding 2 crosswalks on East Main Street for the Bike Headway project.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Okay, please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack,
Yes.
Bottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Newsly,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Item 7 is the second reading of the City of Morehead, Kentucky, amending Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 157 Property Maintenance, Section 157.15 Abandoned Urban Property as Real Property of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Morehead, Kentucky by increasing the tax rate on abandoned urban properties.
Motion.
Second.
Questions or discussion?
Do we need to say the rate?
Set the rate.
$1 in addition, per hundred, in addition to the ad valorem tax in place.
Okay. Any other questions? Please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack,
Yes.
Bottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Newsly,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Thank you. Moving into new business, the first item is a resolution of the City of Morehead to declare October 2025 as City Government Month.
So moved. Second.
If I can find my notes, I'm going to read the resolution. I don't often do this, but this is a fun one. So usually September is City Government Month, but because of some other events, the state decided that October would be this month. And I think there's some valuable information in the resolution, so I just want to read it to the public. Whereas cities are the economic engine of Kentucky, and more than 56% of Kentuckians reside within a city and rely on their city government to provide a variety of services that improve their quality of life. And whereas there are 408 cities within the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and whereas more than 30,000 people serve roles in their city government across Kentucky and deserve recognition for their contributions. And whereas the goal of City Government Month is to raise public awareness of what all city governments across do and how they impact the daily lives of their residents as well as their visitors. And whereas many citizens are now aware of the work done by city governments on their behalf and how critical this work is. And now whereas the City of Morehead has declared October 2025 as City Government Month in Kentucky, now therefore be it resolved that Morehead does hereby designate October 2025 as City Government Month. Be it further resolved that city officials and employees are encouraged to engage residents and celebrate City Government Month throughout the entire month of October with creative ways to showcase the contributions of the city. Any questions? Please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack,
Yes.
Bottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Newsly,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Thank you. Item 2 under new business is a municipal order of the City of Morehead, Kentucky, approving the mayor to appoint David Potter to the City of Morehead Code Enforcement Board.
So moved.
If you don't know Mr. Potter, he is a local resident. We kind of sucked him into this town, and now he has stayed after moving here. He lives in town. He's very involved in community engagement. I think he'll make a great asset to the board. Please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Riesling,
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes.
Item 3 under new business is the first reading of an ordinance of the City of Morehead, Kentucky, amending Title 7 Traffic Code, Chapter 73, Traffic Schedules, Schedule 6, Parking Prohibited at all times of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Morehead, Kentucky by adjusting the areas of prohibited parking on Allen Avenue. And I think we have a slide that Jenny can put up. It's
We've got-
also in your packet.
We have 2 slides.
We have 2 slides.
Wait, no, we just have 1, sorry. If I can get it there. There we go.
Jenny, do you have the ones showing the areas that, session? It's been a few weeks back.
I think we need a motion in a second, though. Sorry.
Second.
Okay, okay. The first photo right here is the one that you sent me last week, the post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where that overhead is showing which areas that they would wish to have.
Oh,
So basically, it's, I had a resident that would like to remove the yellow on, in front of the last 2 houses on Allen Avenue.
And those residents have agreed to that.
So, we did a poll and it was mixed. I think it was 3 or 4 council meetings ago. I want to say it was, you remember Jenny, 4 to 2? something
yeah,
like
it
that.
was
3-3.
basically like 50%
Yeah.
yes,
But
50%
those
no.
specifically that it's in front of are okay with it. The houses, yeah.
But didn't we have a resident farther down Allen that asked us?
That sent these very pictures saying, you know, please don't, if in an event like this, you know, if people are parked there, they can get all the way to the end of the street. And the ask is a little bit different from that resident. The first ask was to also have an open spot in front of DJ Trent's sister's house.
Yeah.
Forgot their name.
Blakes.
And so the Blakes don't want that. They said keep it yellow, so it's kind of a modified ask. I did talk to Jeff about this morning, Chief Anderson, and I think he has no problems with the last spots being used for parking.
Was that creating problems for your trucks?
No, since we don't all have to go all the way to the end. So if we get to the end.
So, to be clear, we're just talking about the last 2 houses changing the, and they,
That's right.
so it wouldn't impede anybody from getting up down Allen Avenue for emergency, just the last 2 houses.
No, the citizen that Mr. Cash was talking about, you know, really felt pretty strongly that if you let people start parking there, that it's gonna be used for college students parking there, and there'd be, you know, problems with, people that don't live there parking there, maybe safety concerns. He sent that pretty lengthy letter that I think we gave to you a couple times ago. And to be honest, I just either say we aren't gonna vote on it, or we're not, yes or no. We're not really giving anybody any resolution.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, please call roll.
Cash,
Yes.
Shack,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Riesling,
Yes.
Middleton.
I'm gonna vote yes.
Okay, no
Oh, because you said 36.30 cents, and I didn't hear the cents. So 0.363 and 36.3 cents are the same thing.
I appreciate that. I didn't have to do that.
I did.
I just wanted, I know that the Public Works is commended for this, but personally, I wanted to say, what a good job y'all did, tearing down the buildings at our new fire station, getting everything ready for the groundbreaking we had there last week. And then, I think, it was either that week or a couple days after, there was a huge rain, like the only rain we've had recently, and a ton of water. They had silt things there that they're supposed to do, but a lot of the dirt and mud came out in the street. The contractors were working on it, and the city showed up, Public Works, Fire Department, Plant Board, everybody there, and we're in the pouring rain, pushing, like with brooms and whatever else to get the street cleared up. By the time I left my office, it looked like it had happened. That was amazing.
I'd like to make a comment about, and my comment goes back to the tax situation. I think all of the people who came to speak left when the vote occurred. All of them feeling that they had lost or that the city had ignored their wishes. And I want to say from my own perspective, and I believe I can speak for the entire council, that is absolutely not the case. We are not dismissing those kinds of things. We take them to heart. We consider them. We worked very hard on this budget. And that was why I particularly asked the question about the point of order. Would there be any benefit to delaying this again? I didn't really believe so. But I honestly believe that the entire matter there's been a lot of misinformation and disinformation and a lack of understanding about what the difference actually would mean to individual citizens' tax bills between the differences. And we go back to what Councilman Tarver said, this is 20% lower than last year's tax. And there is no $400,000 slush fund. I know that has come up several times, and I think that's an absolute falsehood and one that has no business being promulgated, promoted, or listened to.
Any other comments?
I just want to thank those of you who did stay, even though your business was over. We appreciate you. And all of those who are watching the TV, who are still.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.